So you were saying, would I invest back in? Yeah, I would, because I like the idea of the staking. That's the main draw for me, is the staking. Because even when the price drops, like it has been,
Right.
I'm still like, okay, what worst case scenario, it'll eventually.
So do you believe in Hector in terms of a long? So like we weren't recording for a second, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna just reiterate what's going on with this discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's at your house. Is we're in a narrative-based market, and you have to sort of recheck your thesis every once in a while to say, hey, if I had this money, whether it's up or down, because it's easier to buy than it is to sell cryptos, do you want to reinvest? So let's say you put 40K into Hector, and now it's worth 20K because the markets are getting killed. The question is, you don't have any allegiance to Hector necessarily. Like, you could go put that money into something else, but what you're saying is, I do like, my thesis holds, right?
Yeah,
like I still want to hold it longer. So in that case, you either just stick with what you have, or you could even double down, because like, for example, what I did with OHM is I was testing it out. I put 10K into it. I got 18 OHM, right? Which was like, wasn't a lot.
Right.
And then it went down and it got decimated.
Right.
And then I probably got in at $800. Now it's at 100 something bucks.
Right.
I put another 5K in, and I tripled my position in it.
Right.
So I went from 18 ohm to 56 ohm.
Right.
So now I have a decent sized chunk for if my initial thesis comes back. And my thesis is that ohm is the originator. It's the Bitcoin of this whole thing.
Right.
If any of them are going to work,
it's
ohm. If ohm doesn't work, they're all fucked.
Correct.
That's just straight up. Like, if ohm crashes, you're going to see Time, Hector, all these die. Because there's like a fundamental like
of course.
thing here. If Bitcoin gets hacked, Ether, everything's gonna get decimated, right? It's sort of like the Godfather, and so that's my thesis. I took the least risky of them, also the least profits. It's about 5,000 APY, where this is
10,000,
20,000.
It was like 300,000.
Right, exactly. And times at like, and there's crazier ones too. Yeah, so we have market cap 151 million, pretty low still, but yeah, I mean, I think the idea is you have ohm on ETH, you have Time on AVAX, you have Hector on
Phantom,
and you have Invictus on Solana, and those are like the main projects. There are other copycats on each network.
Sure, but those are the most popular.
But those are the most popular things, and it's basically like a bet on a bet, right? It's like you have your bet on what network's going to be the future. And then within that, what reserve currency fork is going to be the one that works. And so you're betting, you have a double bet here. You're betting that Phantom is going to be a highly prized project, which it probably will be. And then if that's true, then you have Hector should, in theory, also go up as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm sticking with it, because I think that as Phantom, I mean, the whole market's down, so it's tough to say.
Yeah.
So,
that's true as well.
like even the coins are down, a lot of them, right?
All
it's not just
pretty much
DAOs,
all of them,
right? So, yeah, I'm sticking with it. Like I just keep going back to this page, which is when I look at
the calculator.
Well, I have like 480. Let's just say.
Well, it's so low right now. Like, here's a good way to think about this. It's like, you might want to do what I did and double down.
I know.
Because it's going to cost you so little, right? Like, if you're willing to put up 40K, if you put another 5 to make your total investment 45,000, how much extra juice are you getting, right? To where if this goes back, you make stupid money, right? Because this is when the heroes are made, right? You're not buying it at the all-time high.
Yeah.
It's like, good for you. You just bought in when everyone was buying it.
Yeah.
If you put money down when it's fucked and everyone's like, this is over, and you're like, it's not over, you guys are wrong. When Bitcoin's at $3,000 and shoots up to 60, you were a psychopath if you put money into Bitcoin then. Because it was like, dude, don't you know you're going to lose your money?
Right.
That's when you really make money, right? So like, let's say you put in, what's the price right now?
The price is $46.
$46. And how many did you get initially? 480?
No, so right now I have a total of 480.
Got it. So at $46, let's say you put 5,000 divided by 46, you'd get another 108. So you get a quarter of your thing for $5,000.
Right.
which maybe that's not enough juice, honestly. I tripled my position in Ohm for half the money that I put
Even
in.
now, right now, you bought more in.
Yeah, I bought more yesterday.
Yeah.
I bought it literally and the reason it went down, by the way, is because there's just one guy who has $100 million in butterfly Ohm and all these things, and he dumped on the market. He did a market sell. He sold $13 million for $11 million.
Why?
He didn't care. He wanted out. So a lot of people are like, why? Right?
So so all of these markets are controlled they're all controlled by people selling and buying. So
Totally.
a whale basically sold
Correct.
a large portion of
And
the whole thing.
put a bunch of fear into it. And then all the other projects people started dumping because they're like, let me save my money. And or there's a thing called sidestepping, where if you think something's going down based on, you know, what's going on the socials, or you see something in the charts or whatever it is,
Yeah.
if you jump out, let it go down and jump back in,
Yeah.
you make money.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're not out of your investment. So that's what, you know, the thing 3-3?
No.
That's what like all these are based off of, is like
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
prisoner's dilemma, where it's like you want to keep your staking staked because you make rebasing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing called 6-6 and 9-9,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically like the best thing to do isn't actually to stay staked the whole time. If you wanted to be technically correct, the best thing to do is to sell when it's going down and then rebuy. So you're not out of the project. You're not losing your belief.
Yeah, I get it. That's what I did with Bitcoin. I sold at 57.
And it's hard. And most people, I would say 99% of people, do the opposite.
Yeah.
Right? They think it's going down, they sell it, they have to rebuy at a worse price. So like trading is a loser's game. Everyone loses trading. It's like going to the casino and thinking you're gonna win at blackjack. Is like
Right.
there's 4 people that are able to win consistently.
Right.
If you spend all year in the casino, you and I are leaving with less money for sure.
Yeah,
That's
compared
just
to someone else that
Who's
does it.
yeah, there's some people that have that thing for a certain amount of time, and that's cool for them. But most people can't trade. You buy high and you sell low.
Yeah.
You fuck it up.
Yeah.
Same for me. I'm a good investor. I'm not a good trader. I almost never time the market correctly.
Right.
I've resigned myself to not hitting the highs and the lows. So I'll just sell. I'll buy at whatever price. I don't really care if I have a thesis, and then I'll sell before the top,
Right.
because I know by the time it hits the top and then it crashes, I'm not going to be able to get out.
You don't care, yeah. You also you already sold. I mean, yeah. That's,
Yeah. So I sell all the way up.
Yeah.
So I was selling, and this is like, you look back and you go, fuck, I'm an idiot.
Like you sold Bitcoin at like
Yeah.
40 or.
Yeah, everything. I
Yeah.
sell everything all the time. I'm
Yeah.
always selling cash into the bank account, because then there's days like this where I can go and have a bunch
Thank
of
God.
dry powder
Yeah.
and be like, I'm going to put money back into Ohm.
Yeah.
And that was like I limped in on that. Like, I'm not fully sold on these. I think there's a lot of Ponzi economics going on, and I'm not sure, like, I'm not gonna fade it. So like, I do want to have money in it, and I have enough to where if this works out, I made
You made good passive
100K,
money.
which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
It's not my home run. I'm not putting 100K into it now, hoping that it turns into millions.